Welcome to the Law of Attraction in Action. Thank you so much for joining me on my podcast. My name is Michelle Joy, and I am your host. And as always, I'm so grateful to be here and teach you about the law of attraction and all of the wonderful ways it can help your life, because that's really my mission, is to help make your life better. So today is my Monday solo session, and as always, I'm so grateful for all of you out there who are listening. I've gotten lots of feedback. Please send me more. I love to hear from you. I love to hear your stories. And my heart just shines big time when you all reach out to me and tell me how much this podcast means to you. So thank you for supporting me. And I hope more than anything that your life is getting better because of these podcasts. So if that is the case, give me a shout out, email me, or join the Facebook group that we have on. It's a private group called Law of Attraction for Happiness, and I just would love to hear from you and connect. So anyway, and if you want to watch this on video, you can also see this on YouTube. My solo sessions are always on YouTube, so you can see my beautiful face and my smiling red lips. I'm wearing my red lipstick today because it makes me feel, makes me feel fun and playful. So anyway, today I want to talk to you about something that's inspired to me by one of our listeners, and she sent me a message on Facebook. Oh, it's another thing. Please friend me on Facebook or follow me on Instagram. You can get both of those links on my website too. So I love being connected. But today she sent me a message about, for one, she's loving my podcast, which I love, and she's new to Law of Attraction. And she was sharing a story around how much things have changed just from listening to this podcast. But I asked her if I could share it. She said that'd be okay. But I want to also just say this whole theme on today's podcast is about love. So before I go into her story, I want to share a little bit about why I want to talk about love. Love is a big, big thing for me. It is the thing that gets me and all of us through life. We need love. And I actually just recently did a post on Instagram and Facebook. I post stuff all the time on my experience in hospice. Being a hospice nurse, one of the greatest gifts I had from being there was I truly understood love. And the whole reason that we are on this planet is to love, experience love, to practice love, to be love. It's all about love. And so I love that Law of Attraction is working better when we come from a place of love. And I know this, I practice it. And honestly, so much of what I do is because I love what I do. I love helping people. I love hearing from people. I love connecting with people. It's all love, love, love. Do you hear that? Lots of love. And when you find that loving energy and you focus everything on love, then everything changes. So before I give you some tips and tools on how you can use love in your life and why it's so important, I'm going to read to you what she sent me because it was so powerful, really. So what she said is, let's see, in the past month or so, I've had a few instances, one where Law of Attraction has really dramatically changed your life. So I'm ad-libbing a little bit. She says, one was a huge library find I had accumulated because I was getting email notifications on my new phone and didn't realize my card had expired, and my kiddos' tons of books were racking up fines. By the way, I have to tell you that when I was a kid, we never turned in our library books, and my mom had the exact same issue. So it's funny this comes up. She said, I got an email saying I had to pay $60 in 10 days or it would go to collections. I didn't have $60 to spare, so I went to the library with $7. I was feeling worried, but I decided to turn it around. On my way there, I said, I'm walking in love, and everywhere I go, love is attracted to me. The universe has surprises for me today, and it's going to be a good day. I love that affirmation, by the way. While I was at the library, I told a friend I had to pay a fine, and she gave me a library coupon for $5 off a fine that she won. I thought, cool, that helps. I took that to the front desk and told them I brought everything I had. They told me they can't accept payments unless it goes to collections first, which I wanted to avoid. But then then they got another librarian who came over and said, you came here to make it right. I'm going to forgive your fine. I started bawling and she started tearing up, and there was so much love. I was so thankful. Last week, I won a drawing to an ice cream place, even though I barely put in any entries. I was just doing the challenge for fun. When the lady delivered my gift card, she told me that their gift card maker messed up when she was trying to buy it, and they had to give her more than she paid for, and I got $5 extra than I actually won. And then today, I just won a random drawing for a $50 gift card to a grocery store at the right time, since my husband's hours were cut and we're tight on money right now. But that's just it. We're not tight on money because what we need comes to us at just the right time and even more. So I love this story because truly, when you focus on love, like if you are looking at your bills and instead of going like, oh, I hate these bills, and you say, wow, I love that I have the ability to pay bills. Like I have hands that can write a check, or I have a checking account. I love that I can earn money, or I love that the universe is always providing for me. I love when I see a penny on the ground and I get so excited that there's this infinite universe that is providing for me all the time. And what I love is the book by Rhonda Byrne, who wrote the movie, did the movie and wrote the book, The Secret, but The Power, and I brought this up before. I love The Power actually more than The Secret, because The Power is all about love. And she has so many stories, and I'm sure I've mentioned this in other podcasts, but it warrants bringing up again, because when you focus on love in everything you do, like everything, you cannot go wrong, because love is truly the highest vibration. And so if you take any area of your life, if you take, like say just even relationships, sometimes we really struggle in our relationships, whether the other person's having a hard time, or, if you have kids like I do, sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, these kids are driving me crazy. But when you focus on the good qualities about them and focus on the love that you have for them, then energetically they shift and they start cooperating. And, love goes with anything. It goes with money. It goes with career, with your passion and purpose. If you follow the love, then you will be drawn to like the right direction and where you're supposed to go, because again, love is the highest vibration. It's that universal energy. It's that flow. And so I love stuff like this. And when people email in about what changes they have just by focusing on love, and like the greatest gift is you have all these connections with other people, right? So I want to give you some tips and tools on how you can practice love in your life. And by doing so, it will help you attract all that you are wanting. So for starters, the number one thing you need to do is love yourself. Start there. That is the starting point. When I wrote my book, Thrive and Shine, How to Find Happiness When Life Falls Apart, that is one of the very first sections, is falling in love with you. Because once you fall in love with you, you are going to open up to 1,000 times more love than you ever imagined. We tend to think, and it's the best thing to do is to love others before ourselves, right? That we have this mentality of like, no, we got to give it out before we can give it to ourselves. But you're so limited on how much love you can give if you just give very little. If you don't love yourself, you don't have enough stores to give. So I know in my life, when I really connected with my love for myself, the love for others was like exponential. It was like nonstop. I swear I'm the most loving person I know besides animals, because I have worked so hard to love me and my divine true self. And by doing so, I've attracted so many wonderful people and things and situations into my life. I wouldn't be doing any of this if it weren't for me loving myself. So that's number one, is love yourself. Another thing is see everything as love. Like we tend to see the world, we have a choice in how we see the world. We really do. We can, it's our perception is very, we're in control of what we see, and we may not think we do, but you can look at any situation through love. And just by looking at something that's seemingly bad, and you can turn it around with a perspective shift. For an example, I know I just did a podcast on suffering. And so we can look at those down days, those really horrible times, those horrible situations, and just get really thrown off and torn apart, and we're stuck and there's nothing we can do, right? Or we can say, what can I love about this situation? And then find a way to look at it from a different perspective, because there's always a different perspective. In fact, that is the miracle of life, is that we can change the way we see something so quickly by changing our perspective on how we look at it. So again, what I love about Abraham Hicks' 5 steps, which I keep bringing that up, but I love it so much. Once you realize that step 1 is that contrast, is that those parts that aren't working, and it's that suffering, as I mentioned in the last podcast. But when you look at that situation with love and say, wow, this is really for my spiritual growth, and I really love that I am growing. I love that I am becoming the best version of me because I'm going through this. Like, isn't that a trip? Like, who can say that except for you? Because you're going to practice love. You can look through things as love. Look at your financial situation as different. Look at it as, again, there is money coming, or money is infinite. And just now that you know about law of attraction, you can visualize it, and then you can start seeing love in money. And I know I have a guided meditation. It's free to everyone. I've had people tell me they've been listening to it. Just go to my website, but it's on manifesting that wealth mindset. So listen to that, because that'll help you change how you feel about money too. So another thing is, what I love is I tell people to get something tactile. Like, I used to give all my groups, whenever I taught this, anything that I really wanted them to remember, whether it's that the divine beings, or to remember love, or that anything is possible, I would give them a little bit of a stone, and or anything, but I like the little stone because you put it in your pocket. And if you take that stone before you walk around with it, and really imprint that this stone represents love. Think of something you love. I did this with a coaching client recently, where I had her really imagine something she loved in her heart, and just really felt that energy in her heart. And after we were done with that meditation, to imagine that white light that's in her heart now becomes that stone. And so once you have that stone represents the love. And so no matter what situation you're in, if you reach in your pocket and that stone is there, it's going to immediately remind you that you are filled with love, that's your default is love. And when you remember that, then your stressful situation or your unhappy place goes away, and you can breathe again. And then you can start attracting and going about your day in a much better way. Isn't that a much better way to be? And so lastly, I want to talk about is, when we're having those really bad days and we want to find love in all of our situations, just put your hand to your heart and say, I love you. I love you. I love you. Say it over and over again. In fact, say it right now. Say, I love you. I love you. And I've done that where I had really hard times. This is way back when I was getting through my divorce. And I remember just, fighting back tears all day, and I was not in a good headspace at all. And all I can do is say, I love you. I love you. I love you, over and over and over again. And it's amazing how that can change you. So last thing I guess I do want to talk about is health, because health is something that a lot of people, when you feel icky, those negative thoughts are really loud. And I have quite a few guests who share about how they got through their health crisis through self-love. I know I just did one with Holly Goodings where she talked about self-love, but that is a huge one. If you want to heal your body, if you want to feel better, you just need to really focus on your in a place of love. And I mean all parts of your body. And here's another example of how you can heal with love. I had listened to Wayne Dyer's daughter. Wayne Dyer's a unfortunately he's passed over. I say unfortunately because I'm sad he's gone, but we still hear his words. He's all over the place. But his daughter spoke at this I Can Do It conference, and she talked about how she had warts all over her face, and they did everything to try and get rid of those warts, and there was nothing they can do. And of course, Wayne Dyer being the self-help and mind, body, spirit guy that he is, they tried everything, but they even went to medical because they're like, these warts weren't going away. And they said, well, you can take this medicine, but she will probably have permanent scars on her face. And so bad side effects. So she made the choice. She was, I think, maybe 8 or 10 years old, and she's doing this talk, but she said that one night she decided that she laid in bed, she put the blanket over her head, and she told her ward, she goes, I love you. Thank you for coming to my life, but I'm ready for you to go. But I really love you for what you've done for me. And it's not amazing for someone so young. Now, again, her dad's Wayne Dyer, so she grew up with this. But what happened is the next day, the warts finally started to disappear. So I love stories like that around love, because love is the healer. And I had a patient once, and I may have mentioned the story before, but he had, I think, bone marrow. He just had a couple bone marrow transplants. He had leukemia. And nothing was working, and he was so tired of being the cancer guy, and he just hated being the cancer guy, and he hated his cancer. And so I asked him, I said, well, what do you think about loving your cancer? And he looked at me like, I'm listening. So of course I'm like, oh crap, what did I say, right? Because I hardly knew the guy. I only worked with him for 4 hours at that point. But what happened is he goes, I think it made sense. And it made sense for me too, because cancer is a bully. I look at it as a bully, right? It comes into your body and it's just trying to bully you. But what do bullies do? They need love. That softens them, and you give them love and they will soften. So I truly believe no matter what your health problem is, if you focus loving energy on it and just really just say, thank you for being here. What a wonderful lesson you're teaching me. I'm growing tremendously because of you, but I'm ready for you to go, and I'll be okay. And what shifts could happen, just with our listener, how she sent the message about how love helped her with money. Love can help with health. Love can help with heal broken relationships. Love can heal or attract everything that you want into your life. It can help with clarity. It could everything. And, really at the end of the day, this is my lesson when I worked in hospice, is nothing matters but love, because that is what we're put on this earth to do, is to love. That's what I believe, and why I do what I do, because I want all of you to feel the love. I want you to live life in love, and I want you to see that when you start practicing all of this, your life will get so great, and you'll be able to love other people and other things like crazy. It's just amazing. I always used to joke with my people when I taught my meetup for years. I always say, who here is ready to take over the world? Because that's what we're doing. We're going to change the world. So all of you listening, you are going to change the world. You're the change maker because you're listening to this. But how could you find that love today? Every day, every moment, every situation, how could you love it? And when you do, I guarantee your life will start to shift, and you'll start to either get healthier or happier, actually all of the above, because we're all the whole thing, right? So anyway, I hope this helps. I'm so excited to share this with you, and thank you for the listener for sending that message to me. And I love to get these testimonials from you, because it feels great to hear, but also it gives me ideas on these Monday solo sessions, because even though I have a lot of information in my head, I love to say stuff that actually helps you directly. And so when I hear from you, I can send it right out and help you. So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this, and have a wonderful day, and love, love, love like crazy. Okay. And I love you all so much, and happy manifesting.